This is Jillian from Offshore Management Training, where you're gaining tips and tools to manage your team from a distance. So today what I want to talk about is video conferencing. If you're managing an offshore team and you haven't been taking advantage of video conferencing, I want you to do so starting immediately. I have said it before and I will say it again because it bears repeating. When you have an offshore team, you don't have the benefit of the usual social cues that we have, like seeing a person, seeing their mood, seeing who they're spending most of their time with, who they're friendly with, who they're not friendly with. All of that is invisible to us offshore managers. So video conferencing is really important because it gives you a little snippet of what the day-to-day office office culture is like there. And then it gives you the information that you need to make changes if need be. So I will give you a real life example that I experienced that let me know, oh my goodness, like every conversation really needs to be a video conference so that I can see their faces. When I started out, I had a team of 3 people, and we have regular video conferencing. And after a while, I realized I need to really pay attention to not just the words that are coming out of their mouths, but the dynamics between the team members. And so I started looking at them with a different eye. Half of my attention was focused on the actual content of what they're saying, but the other half of my attention was focused on the interpersonal dynamics. And so at that time, I had 2 men and 1 woman on my team. And what I realized is that the woman could not understand me. My American accent was very foreign to her ear. So rather than her saying, "Hey, Jillian, can you repeat that?" she would whisper to one of her coworkers, I guess saying like, "Hey, I don't understand her." And they would literally translate the things that I was saying to her. In the beginning, I thought it was a one-off thing. So a week went by, 2 weeks went by. At that point in time, we're having probably weekly meetings, maybe like twice a week. And then it became a real habit. At first, they were just translating for her. But then, since I didn't check it, what started happening, she would relay her ideas to them, and then they would voice the ideas. So every good idea that came from her was coming out of the mouths of one of her male counterparts. And so it took a while before one day, it really hit me. I'm like, oh my goodness, this isn't gonna work. Number one, she needs to learn to understand me on her own, and she needs to raise her own voice and share her ideas directly, because I was finding that whoever was the person who said the idea was the person who I was giving credit to. And if I wasn't a part of that video conference, if I was doing this over the phone, I would just think that the men had so many more ideas and that she was super quiet, meaning that she had no ideas. So after I realized this, I pulled her aside and I was like, "Hey, do you realize that you literally let the men in the meeting speak on your behalf?" And so she's like, "Oh, yes, it's because I have a hard time understanding you." And I was like, "That's fine. I have a hard time understanding you. However, we need to work through this together." And I said, "I know what your hopes and dreams and aspirations are," because we had spoken about it before. And I was like, "I know you have an interest in a leadership position." I was like, "But who do you think is getting all the credit for your great ideas?" And she was like, "The men are." I was like, "Yeah. So who do you think is going to be promoted over you?" And she was like, "Oh, they will." I was like, "Yes." So we had a conversation, and I was like, if you're happy staying in the position that you're in, keep doing what you're doing. But if you want more, and I know you do, you're going to have to speak up yourself. And then I challenged her to speak up at least once at each meeting. And so she did, and now I'm very happy to say that she got the promotion that she was looking for, and is really thriving in her new managerial position. And now she is one of the most outspoken people in the meetings. So I share this story to let you know the power of video conference, because if you're just dealing with the content of what your people are saying, you're really missing out on a lot. I was sitting on a diamond in the rough, and I didn't even know it. But because I was able to see the dynamics, I was able to go back to her and give her really useful feedback that enabled her to more openly share her thoughts and opinions. And I have to tell you too, especially amongst the women in the office, that is contagious. When the women see another woman in a leadership position or another woman who is outspoken, it gives them permission to do the same. So if you aren't video conferencing, number one, you want to get started right away to see these dynamics. There can be tons of dynamics. It's not just about who's speaking up, who isn't, but you want to know where people's allegiances lie. That's very important. And if it works for you and the team, great. But if it doesn't, now you have an opportunity to do something. But also, you want to make sure that you are tapping into the resources that you have. And again, this woman on my team was a really gigantic, untapped resource that I was able to tap into because I got on the video with them. So I know it takes more time, it takes more effort. It is so worth it. So please try it out this week and let me know how it goes. So once again, this is Jillian from Offshore Management Training. Until next time, near or far, manage like a star. Bye.